Right, so first of all, I want to apologize for the lighting. It's kind of late, and I don't have better lighting right now to do this video, but I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about my gender therapy. I recently, this summer, started gender therapy, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I tried to search the internet for questions that they might ask, or what they might be expecting, just to kind of get a feel and start to think about the questions in my head, so that I'd be better prepared. But I really couldn't find anything. And I think that's because different therapists just have different questions, different ways of going about it. Some therapists require a certain amount of visits to, get to know you. Other therapists don't care and they just kind of go through the basic evaluations. But in my case, my therapist just was like, he wanted to know, my history of, mental health, and he wanted to know, obviously, about my need to have kids. He wanted to know, when did I start to feel this way, and he wanted to know how I first pictured myself. One of the other big questions he asked me is things that I would miss about being a woman, and I really couldn't tell him anything. I really couldn't. I said, no matter what happens, whether you decide to recommend me for hormone replacement therapy or anything, I'm not going to stop binding. I'm not going to stop wearing guys' clothes. I'm not going to, wear my hair long again. I'm not going to wear dresses. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm always going to dress kind of like a guy and, be comfortable in my skin and keep binding and do stuff like that. And I said, also that even though I couldn't tell him what I'd miss about being a woman, I could tell him things that I would miss about being a man. I'll miss not having a chest that is completely scar-free because, I'm gonna have scars. And I said I'm gonna miss not having genitalia that fully functions, and, I'm gonna miss just the overall not being able to be what I'm gonna call the stereotypical man. I'm gonna miss the fact that I never got to grow up in a male's perspective. I had to grow up in a female perspective. And although that has advantages and I wouldn't necessarily change it as of now, it's still something that, I'm never going to have. But I am grateful that society is starting to change, and other, FTMs or MTFs are going to be able to transition easier and have the benefit of starting hormone blockers so that they won't grow certain things that, they don't want if they identify as a man, or if they identify as a woman and they're born as a male, they'll be able to, go through puberty as a female, by people like me and a lot of other people out there making headway and, saying that transgender is a thing and it does exist and there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I will miss a lot of things about being a man, even though I will be starting hormones and I will go through top surgery and all the other stuff that transitioning entails in my perception. And then, he also asked, what's my support system like? Do I have a supportive family? And, where am I going to college? Is that supportive? Because I am not stopping my education just to transition at the moment. So, he wanted to know the basics and the important factors of transitioning and things like that. And having a support system is huge, no matter where it is. If it's family, if it's friends, if it's acquaintances, whatever it is, it's just really important to have a good support system. And luckily, I am transferring to a school that does have a good support system when I'm away from home, and I'm gonna be going about it in a safe way and all this stuff. One thing I do appreciate kind of about gender therapy, if you find a good therapist, they don't just say to you, okay, so you came in here and you feel like the opposite gender, we're gonna go through the general questions and then I'll instantly write your referral. No, a good gender therapist starts from square one. Doesn't care. I mean, they care what you identify as because they'll address you like that, but they don't start off by saying that you're guaranteed this. They go through all the steps to make sure that you are, reading your feelings right. And as much as that sucks when you want this process to go by fairly quickly, I understand why they do it. I've had friends that, have gone through years of therapy or years of thinking that they're transgender, and then they find out, maybe they just do prefer, dressing like the opposite sex, but they don't want to, go through treatment, or maybe they just have changed their perspective on things and realized after going through some therapy that they still identify as a female or identify as a male, depending on, what your situation is. And so it's good that they start from square one, as annoying as that is, because you get a fresh third-party perspective. They're not your friends, they're not your family, they're obviously not you. They're completely new to the situation and can look at it with a very objective eye and help you sort through the confusing feelings. Sometimes people start therapy because they don't know what they feel and they just want to discover what they feel or figure things out, and that's what a gender therapist is there to help you do. They're not there just for lip service. They're not there for that if they're a good therapist. And I've been lucky enough to find a good therapist like that. And when I transitioned to school, I've also found a good therapist that's not just doing lip service. And like I said, as annoying as some of this is, because I want to go, I know, how I feel, and I just want to get the process going past gender therapy, starting hormones and thinking about top surgery. There are some benefits. Anyway, I'll continue to tell you more about my experience with my gender therapy, and I'll continue to fill you in on this past couple months that I've kind of been MIA, but for now, this is what I have to tell you, and I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, please comment below. I will be happy to answer, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, see you guys.